Hello, I'm Glitchy Robot and welcome to another Minecraft Let's Play video. Now in this video I want to show you something very special I've been making. Now the reason I haven't made a video for quite a while is because what I've been making is quite large, and that's a castle where I'm going to live instead of in my little house. So this house here, I'm no longer going to be living here, so I'll just take this sign down. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Now if you've seen the earlier videos, then you'll remember that we made the lava parkour cave, which involved digging out a great big pit where we could make the lava parkour. And so when we were digging out the pit, I've been collecting all the cobblestone and I've been slowly turning it into stone, and then stone bricks, and so then I could make the castle out of these stone bricks. And I've built the castle over here. I've started building it, and this is what I'm going to show you. So there's a giant spruce tree that Lieutenant Poppy's made right near her house, and oh, nearly fell down a big hole. And just on that hill that's spawning in there is where I built my castle. Now as I get closer to it, it will of course spawn in, and as it spawns in you'll see little bits of it. Oh look, you can see the death dive behind me there. Okay, so yeah, so you're going to watch as it spawns in slowly, and there, boom, look at that, isn't that a marvellous castle? Okay, yeah, I know it looks more like a tower, but I'm going to be building more onto it and adding more to it. And that, a little bit more will actually start spawning there. You can see the bridge spawning in there just behind it, leading to my wizard's tower. So yes, this is going to be my new house. And it's all made out of stone bricks, and the stone bricks I've been making, as I say, by collecting all the cobblestone when we made the lava parkour cave. And there it is, you can just about see the vines. The vines I've got hanging on there. Now that's to make it easier to climb up and down, but of course you can get up through the tower as well, where a little stairway going up. Now, which way is the easiest way to go in? I did build, at one point we were building a building here which was out of the giant spruce trees. However, it didn't quite work out. What we tried doing is building the giant spruce trees just as Lieutenant Poppy did over there, and we planted them to make the corners of the building, and then we planted more on the inside. We tried building bricks around it, but it ended up not actually being quite as effective as we thought, so we decided to take it down. But never mind, that's how you find things out, is by experimenting. However, by taking them down, that meant chopping down these giant spruce trees, so we now had lots and lots of spruce wood. Now, if I go in here, I've got a little pressure plate so the door will close behind me, so if I'm running away from the mobs, then they get locked out and I don't have to faff about closing the door behind me. So we're just going up this big stairway. Now if you fall down there, it's a long way to fall, especially if you fall right from the top. However, you can see, you get a good view. Hello! Now I'm very sad about that village because the villagers have disappeared. Now I've come to a theory. The villagers were fine until I started building my castle around here. Now I think that when you're nearby, the mobs spawn in nearby, and then they will attack all the villagers that are nearby. And if you're not there, so if there's a village on the other side of the map, then they'll survive forever and ever, you don't have to worry about them. However, if you ever build a house nearby, then the mobs will actually attack them. So anyway, here we are at the top of my wizard's tower. And yeah, so those villagers there, they were the villagers that lived in the village were perfectly fine until I started building my castle, and then they all disappeared. Which, as I say, I believe it's because the mobs spawn in nearby. So where I am here, everywhere that I can see, mobs can spawn in that area. So any villagers that are in that area, the mobs can spawn in and get the villagers. So that makes it a little bit tricky to have villagers near your castle, which is a little bit unfortunate, but here's the bridge anyway. So, oh sorry, I forgot to mention. Yeah, so I called it the Wizard's Tower. That's because I'm going to be placing brewing stands in here to make potions, and then, oh, fell down, and up here I'm going to have my enchantment table, and I've left space for my library around my enchantment table. So that's what's going on up here. Okay, cool. Now if I go back down here, here's my bridge over to my castle. And here's my new base. So this is my new house, and down there you can see my secret garden, which is of course the mountain that I built the castle on. Now it took quite a while to build it, and it was quite, well, you know what it's like when you play Minecraft. It can be a really big project where you're just, you know, flattening a mountain or you're building a tower or whatever, but it just does involve going along, going block, 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 and it doesn't really make much of a video. So I thought I'd just concentrate on building this, and then I'd make a video afterwards. So I was just sort of going round and round and round in circles, building my round castle, because I wanted it to be just like the castle that I made on my PC version. So I've actually made it to the exact same size as my old PC castle, which unfortunately I can't really play on anymore because the updates made it too well, the updates were too powerful for my old PC, unfortunately. But never mind. There's my little fireplace, and as you can see, I've just make it easier. So here's cobblestone. So just to show you, there's all the cobblestone there that I collected digging out the parkour cave. And here's a few more things. As you can see, the sign at the top there, stone and iron forge. So this is all the stone bricks and things, and the box of iron and bits of redstone and whatnot that I've made. And this is where I've been taking the cobblestone and making the stone blocks. And then over on this side, so just to show you, I've got my nether. So these are the things that I've collected from the nether. And here we've got tools and weapons, so as it says. And then over here we've got woodwork. So this is where I've still got lots and lots of spruce wood and the spruce planks and yes, spruce wood stairs, which is the spruce wood stairs I used for my roof on top of my wizard's tower. And then here I've got plants and animals. So here's all the different food types you can get. So here's the steaks and things. Now I don't really like killing the animals, even though to be honest I think they're just sort of, it's like you when you die in Minecraft and you just spawn back into your respawn point. I think it's like that with the animals, they're just sort of spawning somewhere else. But still, it feels a bit nasty going around, killing them just for the sake of it, which is why I always get my baked potatoes. However, occasionally you'll be walking around and you'll find a bit of raw mutton or something floating around, which I think is where a wolf has killed a sheep. And here I've got my potato farm, and I'll be placing my potatoes in here to keep them cooked. And yeah, so there you are, that's a quick tour of my new castle. Now not only that, but of course I've got my pumpkin head and my wither skeleton skull and my map. So here we are, and there's the little village there which is no longer populated, and down there is the old village where I used to live. Now there is one more village which is just up there where that little island is. It's actually not an island, that's where the village spawned in the sea. And just down there, I think it is a village with just one little house in, which is more of a farm out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, so I'm down here, and the only remaining villagers are up here. So I need to figure out a way to get some villagers down here. Now the idea was always to build the village, well, spread out the village and build a giant city across the entire map. However, that's going to take absolutely ages until I reach those villages over there. So I thought maybe I could make some train tracks or something. Some train tracks that go from where I am there all the way up to the village up here. So then I can, or maybe even to the farm there, and then I can push a villager into the rail cart and it can get brought back over. Not sure if that would actually work or not. But if I just go to sleep, because I don't want to run into any mobs. So, okay, snooze, 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 snore. There we go. Hey. Now, just to show you down here, I've got a little lake, or a little pond at the bottom of my castle. So when I want to come out of my castle, I don't have to go down the stairway, back over here, over the bridge and down the stairway in my wizard's tower. No, instead I just come and I walk out of this window and go, ah! It's okay, because as you know, I wear a diving suit. I don't have to worry about the water. No, it's fine. Okay, let's go over here. So one of the other things I was doing is I wanted to have a little bit of a building that looked like it was ruins. So here I've made some mossy cobblestone and mossy stone bricks to make this just look like a really old building that's sort of dropping to bits. And the reason I actually built this building here in the first place is this line here is actually the roof of the tunnel that we made between one village and the other. Originally we were going to try and get the villagers from this village to move to the other village over there, and so we dug a great big tunnel which was filled with doors, but that didn't work unfortunately. So instead, I said we're going to have to come up with something else, but as you can see there's a bit of a hole here where a creeper blew up right next to the tunnel and exposed the tunnel. So I built this building up around the tunnel just so then we've got another covering, and the only thing I had on me at the time was with the bricks, so that's why I made it like that. But I thought it'd be really cool to make it into like a ruins. And then here we've got another pond. But so yeah, I was really sad actually when I came up here to visit my villagers. because I wanted to trade with them. And one of the tricky things I had about trading is there were only 2 villagers here, and if you want the villagers to have baby villagers, you've got to get them, you've got to trade with them so then they have little babies. But one of them wanted some raw chickens, and the problem is I don't have any chickens in my world. Or to be more truthful, I had like 1 chicken in the world and I didn't want to kill the 1 chicken. So I collected up some eggs and I tried to get some more chickens to spawn, and I ended up with just a couple of chickens which I've got in chicken pens back in the original village over there. Now if I show you around here, so the vines, the other part of the castle I wanted to show you. The vines are climbing up as well, so if I want to go straight up I don't have to go through the wizard's tower, I can just climb the vines up to the window to get back in where I just jumped out. But I've also got the secret garden. I think I'm going to fill in these gaps in the wall here, but if I show you, you can go into the garden through this gap here, and up, and down here. And I've got a little cave here. This is where I actually had my bed, and I had my chest and things like that while I was building the castle walls. There's the floor. It's got snowed on at the top, so you may not have noticed, but it's actually checkered like a chessboard. And so there's the secret garden underneath my floors, and I wanted it to look like it was actually part of the old castle as well, because down here you can see the wall on the outside of the castle, and here's a little waterfall, and the waterfall comes from here. So what you can do is just go down here and go into the waterfall straight down, and it takes you out. Or there's another cave here which is like a secret entrance to the back of my castle. So if you want to, you can come in to my castle through this cave here, and you've got the secret entrance which goes back through here and go boop and into the secret garden. Okay, it's not much of a secret, but you know the idea, get what I mean. And here we go, and way down the water slide. So this is just another way out. This is the way I used to get down before I built the front wall with all the vines. And I put a few other vines around it as well, which don't actually lead anywhere, it's just so they didn't look too obvious that it was a ladder leading up to my window. And here we go, up to my lair, my den, my HQ. It's a long way up. There's my awesome wizard's tower. I'm actually really pleased with the way the wizard's tower turned out. Oh, nearly fell off. Too busy looking at my wizard's tower. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I would have liked that to have been a bit more pointy on top. I can't think of a way to make it pointy. I mean, obviously I could have just put a block on or something, but I thought that would be too square. But anyway, never mind. It's not the end of the world, although I would have liked it to have been a bit more sticky-uppy. Oh, I'm not sure if I showed you, I've actually got a skylight up there as well, so, which I thought was kind of cool. But there you go, that is my brand new castle and wizard's tower. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!